highly religious war, and therefore we should be concerned about what is happening there, not only because it's highly religious, because also have implications for the rest of the world, including Africa and including Ghana. And so any disturbance in that region, particularly if it turns out to involve other powers, will not hold well for the rest of us. In terms of our domestic setting, you should recall that Ghana is not a mono-religious state. It's not a state that has only one single religious group being dominant. Indeed, we have various religions, including Muslims and Christians. And as indicated, we have taken a position virtually endorsing the position of Israel. And therefore, you expect that as Palestinians are suffering, and then, of course, Arabs, Muslims are suffering, their fellow Muslims will have a little bit of sympathy and will want to solidarize with them. So we will have this kind of demonstration. It's even more peaceful when they come up boldly to demonstrate, to let their anger and their frustrations and their sympathies for the people of Palestine known outwardly. It's more dangerous when they choose other means of protest, other violent means of protest. So yes, we should be concerned here, and we should guarantee them the right to protest.
And talking about the UN Security Council decision, we saw excerpts of proceedings when, of course, the voting was underway at the United Nations. Of course, the issue about Ghana's decision to abstain when Russia put forward a resolution that was seeking to call for some level of humanitarian assistance and also a ceasefire purely on humanitarian grounds, and that found Ghana abstaining as the only African country to do so. The others apparently supported this move. What sort of a picture or narrative is that painting about the country and our decision that we have taken? What are we communicating to the world?
It is very important to note that we have already compromised our stand by virtually declaring our support for Israel. And of course, the position that the US and other powers have taken is virtually what we are doing. So it's just following on what we have done when the issue started. Whereas we were too quick to lend total support to the Israeli position. Yes, of course, we are free to say that the Israeli position is right, maybe based on the fact that we think Hamas is a terrorist organization. But if you see how this war has proceeded, you will note that there's a lot of casualty, particularly on the side of the Palestinians, including civilians and children who are being killed. And so I think that Ghana's position had already been compromised by the stance we take earlier in terms of our president's stand that we totally support the Israeli position. And remember, when Hamas organized this attack, the kind of response Israel is giving is predicted by them. Indeed, they know that Israel will come out with all guns blazing. And maybe they understand that as the war proceeds, as the war gets underway, the casualties of civilians and all these things will gradually win them sympathy, will gradually win the attention of the world to them. And so this is also a strategy. Hamas may have used as a strategy to kind of thwart various efforts at ensuring that there's a more cordial relationship among Israel and other Middle East powers like Saudi Arabia, for instance, where they have gone, the miles of diplomatic effort have gone in to ensure that they reconcile and then engage in more diplomatically. So this response from Israel is virtually thwarting those efforts, because as you see, so this response from Israel is virtually thwarting those efforts, because as you see, at least to support that resolution and let the bigger power use his veto to oppose it. But as of now, we have just communicated to our Muslim brothers who are sympathizing with their brothers that as a state of Ghana, we virtually endorse what and looking at the pattern from the beginning, we virtually endorse the Israeli and Western position. And that does not bode well for our brothers who are feeling in the sense of their religious inclination, that their religion is under attack, and therefore they feel like the state that they call Ghana should be able to at least vote in the way that support, at least granting humanitarian relief to innocent people. Not every person in Gaza is Hamas. Not every person in Gaza took part in that attack. Not every person in Gaza may have supported that idea. So you see, if it is about humanitarian relief, at least what is expected is that we at least support that at least humanitarian relief to be granted.
Yeah, but the group, the country actually advocating for that appears to be setting double standards. May be a reason for which the Republic of Ghana does not want to support Russia. This is our president speaking a couple of days ago and pointing out in the United States of America that he supports Ukraine and every other nation should also come to the support of Israel given the attack of Hamas. Now you have a country that supposedly is, on the offensive against Ukraine, suggesting that we go on a humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza. I mean, are we not going to be setting double standards if we support Russia in that cause, knowing that it is also at war with another country?
You see, in the world of global politics, double standards are quite common, and that is how the world functions. The U.S. and other powers don't hold firm to a position. And indeed, Ghana's foreign policy over the years have operated on the basis of considering each issue on its own merit. In the particular case we are considering now, what is the basis of which the resolution was blocked by the U.S.? It is because the resolution didn't acknowledge the right of Israel to defend itself. That is the only thing that the resolution didn't mention. So if that is the basis, what is it that prevents Ghana from considering? You don't take an issue based on the person who is proposing the issue. You look at the issue on its own merit. Do we agree as a country that the people of Palestine, the people of Gaza, who are the innocent civilians who are currently under bombardment, deserve the right to have a relief? That is the core issue. If they so deserve to have relief, then it doesn't matter which quarter the resolution is coming from. We may disagree with Russia on certain issues, but then again, the world of international politics suggests that we can still agree with them on other issues. Indeed, it is that way that you can even help play a meaningful role in resolving the Russian crisis if the chance arises, because then you put yourself in a position that they will recognize that while you disagree with them invading Ukraine, on other issues of international importance, you actually reason with them. So you must not take a position that virtually looks like you are so stuck to a particular position. Because indeed, in the world of international relations and politics, nobody has permanent friends. We have permanent interests. Our interest in this case is to uphold the civilians of Gaza to have relief, is to ensure that we maintain religious harmony in Ghana, is to ensure that our population is at one, so that we continue to enjoy the peace that we are enjoying. Now we're going to spend resources trying to police these demonstrations, which at this point we don't necessarily need, because we have our brothers in Volta and other regions that are already being displaced by the floods.
I see. But then your expectation from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, we know that they issued a statement on this matter calling on all sides to negotiate and to bring about a lasting peace to this whole conflict. And then now we're getting to see and to bring about a lasting peace to this whole conflict. And then now we're getting to see...
Lithium is a special mineral. I mean, as we know, it's a crystal mineral, it's a green mineral, and therefore our representation should be based on knowledge, experience, and not based on sectional partisan presentation. But I think on the face of it, the object is excellent. I think it's a good move. The royalties have changed from 5% for other minerals to 10% for lithium. This is not new globally. I mean, in some countries, royalties are based on minerals, different type of minerals you're mining. When you go to Australia, the iron ore producers pay different royalties than the gold producers. So I think it's a good lesson we are learning. I personally believe that Ghana should get to a point where we actually show majority interest. And this time, it should not be free carry interest. It should be abstain in the past, as Botswana has successfully done.
Trying to protect your identity by yourself is a lot like trying to be a quarterback without an offensive line. LifeLock alerts you to blindside threats you may miss on your own, even if you're monitoring your credit. If a threat happens to get through, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist is there to help. Join now and save up to 25% your first year at LifeLock.com/aware. That's LifeLock.com/aware to save 25%. LifeLock. Identity theft protection starts here.
It's owned by the government, 51-49. The other partner.
It will be 2 weeks since flood water swept through communities in parts of the Volta region, eastern and also greater Accra areas following the spillage of the Ekosombo Dam and Pong dams. At least 26,000 people have been displaced. This afternoon, Joy News is learning waterborne diseases have started emerging 2 days into screening of some flood victims at Mepe in the Volta region. The Ghana Medical Association and the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association are spearheading a medical outreach initiative. Well, my colleague Carlos Kaloni is on site and comes through with this report. Here I said.
Nurses and Midwives Association, together with the Ghana Medical Association, have teamed up here to provide medical relief to affected flood victims here in Mepe, in the North Tong district of the Volta region. And as you can see, screening is ongoing here, treatment is ongoing. There are a number of residents here who are actually receiving medical attention from the Ghana Medical Association in conjunction with the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. And so we want to speak to a few of them to understand their story, to see why they are here and what kind of medical attention they are receiving as part of the arrangement to bring relief to flood victims here in the North Tong district of the Volta region. Nukata na la fiafia.
Mava atikarope. Ale no jo sie do mi fon tobu mi ola mokatagba le mi eve eta o va bina na mi atika be mi akponse.
Ta emi va fiade leke eganya do o mi anam free lo alo leke nya dodoa.
Badakula tike na mi free. For her more.
So I was just asking her why she's here, and she's been saying that due to the stress they went through with the flood situation, most of them have issues with their health, and so they are here to actually get some medical attention. And I asked her earlier whether they are paying for these services, and to her she said no, these services are being provided free of charge here at one of the centers, PPAG center here in Mepe. And so
But I go don't go. Ta atikamaho.
Ta ba nuka la fudem na via.
But I go BP la fudanu. I feel la makatala nivo.
Ta fi fiwa na atika.
E wa na matika.
Ke at the government hospital ha no ajofia.
O nyema yiyo.
With national health insurance ela shiwa lo abu.
Kula sinye. Ela sinye tanyeli.
Okay. Okay, so she's been telling us that she still has a national health insurance and she's just waiting for her medication because she's been diagnosed of high blood pressure. There are a few others here that we'll try to speak to understand what is really wrong with them. Madam, ta oha kayena bafia.
Enya fifira ekumava senya mava atikawa ho.
Okay. So she's not here for medical attention, but there are a few others that are here. Mama, me kwabo ha lagban le viare da shi nkejo.
Ameva tike ho. If you try bara no kwa tike no harako.
Ta no kai wo ba fu dem na ofia.
Baby. Aso nyeto stroke elem fodun kameba.
Okay. So she says she's been also diagnosed of high blood pressure, and she has been given some medication, and she's just waiting in the queue to be served with that particular medication. Okay. So she's actually confirming that the service being delivered here by the Ghana Medical Association as well as the Ghana Registered Nurses Association is totally free of charge. So I have this lady here to also talk to us. Give us your name. Okay, so why are you also here?
BP.
So has it gone now because of the flood situation? What happened to your house? Tell us.
Oh, the house here na
Okay, so that's the story of Vicencio. And as you can see, there are a number of people here who are actually receiving medical attention. I have this gentleman here to also share his story with us. And you appear to be happy. I mean, you don't have any medical situation. What's your name? Tell us why you're here.
My name is Adika Achu. I'm calling from Volta region. But because of the rain season, that's why we are here now. But we have so many diseases in the water, so we came here to test ourselves, to see doctor to explain something to us. That's why we are here.
Okay, so when you come, I mean, now that you're here, are you paying for these services?
No payment. They say it's free.
Okay.
So it's general.
So I see you holding a piece of paper. What is it? What are they telling you?
But now, before I will go and see the doctor, then you explain the
medical challenge that you have. Yeah. Okay, so that's your name again?
My name is Adika.
Adika's issue there is part of those who are at this particular center at PPAG receiving medical attention from the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association as well as the Ghana Medical Association. So you can see in your shot what the nurses are doing, what the doctors are doing currently, taking the records of victims of the flood of Mepe here in the Volta region. And they are making sure that everybody is taken care of in terms of health care services. And you see a nurse in there checking the pulse of, a lady just to be sure she's fine. And you see this young one here also on the scale, just to be sure that they are okay a bit. And so that's the situation we have here at PPAG. Center where the officials have been talking and taking care of victims of the flood. And so I'll be engaging the lead for this particular center to tell us more about what they have been doing so far at the PPAG center here in the North Tongue district here. So tell us, give us your name first of all.
So my name is Dr. Stephen Mina Ala.
You are from which of the units?
So I'm with the Ghana Medical Association. Yes.
So what is going on here?
So we, as part of initiative from the Ghana Medical Association, the MP of the area, and then the regional directorate, we heard about the devastating situation here. So the GMA volunteered, and then members came together with the nurses and midwives, so that we would come and give support to the locals on the ground. Now, our main aim here is to screen the patients, because looking at the flood, it comes with other medical diseases. So, for example, the risk of malaria, cholera, and then skin infestations. So we are here to screen the people here to identify suspected cases of cholera, screen the people for suspected malaria, and then treat those that have proven malaria cases. And then if we are able to suspect a few cases of cholera, then we will declare whether we have an epidemic or anything, and then we'll be able to refer those that have severe diarrhea conditions to the hospital. So basically, this is what we are doing here.
How many days have you been doing this so far?
So we were here, we came on Tuesday and started active work yesterday. So yesterday here, averagely we saw about 73 cases.
Well, my colleague Carlos Colon is still within the community for us. Joins me live now from one of the flooded areas within the South Tongue area. Carlos, if you're with me, you just reported earlier about the health condition of many of the residents there who are now being screened by the team deployed by the Ghana Medical Association. What more are we learning of? Because earlier today, we saw that some other political parties have been doing donations as well as other benevolent organizations. What more can you report?
All right, Blessed, I can say for a fact that the situation remains same across the, the three Tongue districts from the north, Tongue district, central and south. The water levels are still high, especially in the Mepe area as well as the South Tongue area. And so the situation is still as serious as we've been reporting. But as you know, the Ghana Medical Association as well as the Ghana Registered and Midwives Association, they have been doing some work in the Mepe area. And for those in the South Tongue area, their concern is that they are yet to see any such medical reliefs. We visited one of the communities today, Gamenu, where you see flood victims, and for days they've not had any medical outreach team coming to them there. So that's their concern. They feel like everything is being sent to the Mepe area. And the Member of Parliament we've been speaking to actually is calling for equitable distribution of these relief items to ensure that flood victims in the South Tongue area can also have some respite. So the situation has not improved. And so health situations like you saw in that video, the Ghana Medical Association, they're saying that they are looking at the situation. They've identified a number of health situations with regards to cholera, diarrhea, suspected malaria, but they want to put the figures together to actually determine if it's on a bigger scale, so then they can declare issues that will come with it. So that's the picture from the South Tongue area, Blessed.
And you've been also interacting with some more residents and also the donations that we've been seeing in the early parts of the hours, where the national chairperson of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketiah, joining the minority leadership to make some donations today. What more are we learning?
Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
So my name is Dr. Stephen Mina Allah.
You are from which of the units?
So I'm with the Ghana Medical Association. Yes.
So what is going on here?
So we, as part of initiative from the Ghana Medical Association, the MP of the area, and then the regional directorate, we heard about the devastating situation here. So the GMA volunteered, and then members came together with the nurses and midwives, so that we would come and give support to the locals on the ground. Now, our main aim here is to screen the patients, because looking at the flood, it comes with other medical diseases. So, for example, the risk of malaria, cholera, and then skin infestations. So we are here to screen the people here to identify suspected cases of cholera, screen the people for suspected malaria, and then treat those that have proven malaria cases. And then if we are able to suspect a few cases of cholera, then we will declare whether we have an epidemic or anything, and then we'll be able to refer those that have severe diarrhea conditions to the hospital. So basically, this is what we are doing here.
How many days have you been doing this so far?
So we were here, we came on Tuesday and started active work yesterday. So yesterday here, averagely we saw about 73 cases.
Well, my colleague Carlos Colon is still within the community for us. Joins me live now from one of the flooded areas within the South Tong area. Carlos, if you're with me, you just reported earlier about the health condition of many of the residents there who are now being screened by the team deployed by the Ghana Medical Association. What more are we learning of? Because earlier today, we saw that some other political parties have been doing donations as well as other benevolent organizations. What more can you report?
All right, Blessed, I can say for a fact that the situation remains same across the, the three Tong districts from the north, Tong district, central and south. The water levels are still high, especially in the Mepe area as well as the South Tong area. And so the situation is still as serious as we've been reporting. But as you know, the Ghana Medical Association as well as the Ghana Registered and Midwives Association, they have been doing some work in the Mepe area. And for those in the South Tong area, their concern is that they are yet to see any such medical reliefs. We visited one of the communities today, Gamenu, where you see flood victims, and for days they've not had any medical outreach team coming to them there. So that's their concern. They feel like everything is being sent to the Mepe area. And the Member of Parliament we've been speaking to actually is calling for equitable distribution of these relief items to ensure that flood victims in the South Tong area can also have some respite. So the situation has not improved. And so health situations like you saw in that video, the Ghana Medical Association, they're saying that they are looking at the situation. They've identified a number of health situations with regards to cholera, diarrhea, suspected malaria, but they want to put the figures together to actually determine if it's on a bigger scale, so then they can declare issues that will come with it. So that's the picture from the South Tong area. Blessed.
And you've been also interacting with some more residents and also the donations that we've been seeing in the early parts of the hours, where the national chairperson of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, joining the minority leadership to make some donations today. What more are we learning?
All right, so that particular donation is from the presidential candidate of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, and the party itself made a donation. A particular donation is from the presidential candidate of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, and the party itself made a donation of